UNESCO World Heritage Site. According to the news, the World Heritage Site make up less than 1% of the Earth's surface, but they have more than 20% of the planet biodiversity. Less than 1%, 20% biodiversity. Research was conducted by the United Nations, UNESCO, United Education, Scientific, Cultural Organization, and the International Union for Conservation of Nature. They are estimated to protect over 20,000 endangered species. World Heritage World Heritage Site have been referred as the last line of defense against the extinction. They played key role in protection of the Java rhino vacuitas, that is the world's smallest cetacean, pink iguanas. Java rhinos vacuitas, the world's smallest cetacean. Vacuita, Javan rhino. Okay, they played for the protection of the Javan rhino vacuitas, pink iguanas, also protected Sumatran rhino, Sumatran orangutans, vacuita birds. पूरे वर्ल्ड के सबसे स्मॉलेस्ट cetacean कौन होता है? vacuitas. Mountain gorillas. About the World Heritage Site and the Convention, it is any of the areas of the object inscribed by the UNESCO World Heritage List. These sites are designed as having outstanding universal value under the World Heritage Convention of 1972. There are total 1199 heritage sites under the convention. कितने हैं? 1199. The sites are selected under the three categories: cultural importance होना चाहिए, natural as well as the mix. There are 42 World Heritage Site in India. India में कितने? 42 हैं. Of this, 34 cultural, 7 natural, and 1 is of the mixed type. It has been adopted at the convention concerning the protection of the world cultural as well as the natural heritage. The principle recognizes the way in which the people interact with nature and the fundamental need to preserve the balance between the two. Way the people interact with the nature and the fundamental needs to preserve the balance between the two. Parties and the implementing agency: 195 state parties including India and the World Heritage Committee. Strategic objective: 5 C's: credibility, conservation, capacity building, communication, communities. Credibility, conservation, capacity building, communication, community. Credibility, conservation, capacity building. Credibility कितनी है? Conservation, capacity building. Credibility, conservation, capacity building, communication and communities. Credibility, conservation, capacity building, communication, communities. Communication world. World Heritage Sites are unique in conserving the biodiversity. It covers the wide horizon, deals with both the natural, cultural heritage and the mixed heritage site. They are conferred the highest level of international protection. Okay, deals with the both covers wide horizon. It deals with natural, cultural and mixed heritage. They are conferred the highest level of international protection at the Kanjanga National Park of India. Regional planning program parties are encouraged to integrate the protection of the sites into the regional planning. Integrate the site in the regional planning program. There is national biodiversity strategies and the action plan. World Heritage for it fulfill the urgent need during the disasters or the natural calamities. Convention reporting mechanisms. Convention stipulate the obligation of the parties to report regularly to the World Heritage Site Committee on the state of conservation of the World Heritage properties. Karizanga National Park, India. Chitwan National Park, Nepal. The population of the greater one-horned rhino have been doubled since their inscription in the UNESCO World Heritage line. Public participation increases the state parties to strengthen the appreciation of the public to enhance the protection through education and the informational program. Informational program. Policy action facilitate dialogue between the policy makers and the World Heritage actors in the development and implementation of the effective action. Challenge balance between the nature and the culture. Strengthen the link between the nature and the culture. As many cultural sites, including those in the urban areas, are promoting biodiversity. Strengthen the link between the nature as well as the culture. Link है nature और culture में. As many cultural sites, including those in urban areas, are promoting biodiversity. Now, what are the challenges faced by the World Heritage Site? Decline in the population of the endangered species. These challenges: decline in the population of the endangered species, either by the natural factors such as disease or by human measures such as poaching. Tropical rainforest heritage of Sumatra. तो उसमें population decline हो रही है. Development activities include activity like construction of reservoir which flood important parts of the property. Reservoir की वजह से it floods important part of the property. Industrial and agricultural development etc. Human encroachment also threatens the integrity of the state. Lake Turkana National Park, Turkana is in Kenya. Climate change. Every 1 degree Celsius increase in global temperature could double the number of the species threatened and by the dangerous climatic condition. अगर 8 degree Celsius increase in global temperature could double the number of the species threatened by dangerous climatic condition due to its migration pattern, food availability etc. have changed. Funding. World Heritage Fund is not able to fulfill the need of the whole nation as many nations do not contribute on time. Along with the rising frequency of disaster, heritage sites face brunt of armed conflict. Example: UNESCO sites of Kiev and Lviv are inscribed in the list of the World Heritage in danger due to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. give and leave. At the nation modify the legal protected status of the area, severe deterioration on the natural beauty of the scientific value. Modify legal protected status and deterioration of the natural beauty of the scientific value. World Heritage Site needs to give more protection and priority as they are playing key role in the biodiversity conservation. It will play a key role in achieving the target of the coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. UNESCO, it was established in 1945 as a specialized agency of the UN to promote the international cooperation. UNESCO 1945 specialized agency of UN promote international cooperation in education, science, culture, communication and information. 194 member countries including India, 12 associate members हैं. इसका स्ट्रक्चर इसमें सेक्रेटेरिएट होते हैं, दैट इज हेडेड बाय द डायरेक्टर जनरल, इम्प्लीमेंट द डिसीजन ऑफ द जनरल कॉन्फ्रेंस एंड द executive board, attain the quality education for all, quality education and promote lifelong learning, mobilize scientific knowledge and policies for the sustainable development, scientific knowledge and policy for sustainable development, addressing emerging social and the ethical challenges, fostering cultural diversity, intercultural dialogue, fostering cultural diversity, intercultural dialogue and the culture of a peace, building inclusive knowledge societies through information and the communication. Man and Biosphere Program 1971 MAB, it is an intergovernmental scientific program that aims to establish a scientific basis for the improvement of relationship between the people and the environment. Budapest Declaration on the World Heritage 2002 adopted to ensure that the World Heritage Convention applies to heritage in all its diversity. Budapest Declaration on the World Heritage Site, it was ensure that the World Heritage Convention applies to heritage. World Heritage Convention, it applies to heritage in all its diversity. It is an instrument for the sustainable development of all societies through dialogue and mutual understanding. अच्छा, सारी सोसाइटी के सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट हो कैसे हो सकता है? डायलॉग एंड म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग. Budapest Declaration of the World Heritage Site 2002 to ensure the World Heritage Convention applies to heritage in all its diversity. UNESCO Strategy for Gender Equality in and through Education 2019 से 2025. It is also a member of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. All member states have established a National Commission on UNESCO. Pacific Decadal Oscillation. According to a recent study, a combination of the global warming and the Pacific Decadal Oscillation could make cyclones more frequent in the coming year. Also, both Pacific Decadal Oscillation and the El Nino Southern Oscillation, and so they impact each other. Scientists have also pointed the linkage of the PDO and the global warming. Okay, global warming, PDO, and so Pacific Decadal Oscillation, warm phase pattern. Difference from the average temperature, under cooler, bahar warmer. About PDO, Pacific Decadal Oscillation is a long-term ocean fluctuation in the Pacific Ocean. It has two phases, cool or the negative phases, characterized by a cool wedge of the lower than the normal sea surface. Cool wedge of the lower than the normal sea surface heights ocean temperature in the eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean. ठीक है, eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean. Eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean. Okay. Eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean. Eastern equatorial Pacific, and a warm horseshoe pattern of the higher than normal sea surface height connecting the north, then west and the southern Pacific River to image. ठीक है, warm or the positive phase, it cool or negative phase. It is the reverse of the cool phase. In it, जो West Pacific Ocean होता है, it becomes cool. ठीक है, characterized by a cool wedge of lower than the normal sea surface height ocean temperature in the east. जब ईस्टर्न में इक्वेटोरियल पैसिफिक में जब टेम्परेचर कम हो तो ये कूल और द नेगेटिव फेज है, और जब वेस्टर्न में हो तो ये वार्म और पॉजिटिव फेज है. वेस्टर्न becomes cool and the wedge in the east warms and cool wedge, ठीक है, cool wedge of the east is warm. Okay. It waxes and wanes approximately every 20 से 30 years. However, in the recent time, the warm and the cold phase have been much shorter. Why? PDO enhances the frequency of the cycle. Negative PDO मतलब ईस्टर्न इक्वेटोरियल पैसिफिक कूल रहता है, ईस्टर्न वाला. अलॉन्ग विद ला नीना. नेगेटिव PDO मतलब ईस्टर्न पैसिफिक जो है वो आपका कूल रहता है, और ला नीना भी हो जाए फेज. इट क्रिएट्स सुटेबल कंडीशन फॉर द ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन. ला नीना ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन. इन 2000 PDO entered a cooler or the negative phase. If it remains so, it could mean in more tropical cyclone in the post-monsoon month that originate in the equator. The number of the equatorial origin cyclones was 43% fewer in 1981-2010 compared with the 1951-1980, and this was because the PDO was in a warmer or the positive phase. It is usually rare for the cyclones to form near the equator due to the warmer or the positive phase. This was because the period was in warmer of the positive phase. Warmer होगा तो positive phase. It is usually rare for the cyclones to form near the equator due to the absence of the Coriolis force, but when the waters are warm, they gain more moisture and rise in intensity. साइक्लोन इक्वेटर में कम बनते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ वहाँ पे कोरियोलिस फोर्स एब्सेंट रहता है. इट इज़ यूजली रेयर फॉर साइक्लोन्स एंड टू फॉर्म नियर द इक्वेटर बिकॉज ऑफ द एब्सेंस ऑफ द कोरियोलिस फोर्स, बट व्हेन द वाटर्स आर वार्म दे कैन गेन मोर मॉइस्चर एंड राइज इन इंटेंसिटी. मॉइस्चर इंटेंसिटी एंड सो एल नीनो सदर ऑसिलेशन ये एक सिंगल क्लाइमेट फिनोमिना है. इट हैज़ 3 स्टेट्स और फेजेस विच आर एज फॉलोज. El Nino, a warming of the ocean surface or above average sea surface temperature in the central and the eastern. El Nino क्या होता है? A warming of the ocean surface or the above average sea surface temperature in the central and the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. एक सेकेंड ये फिर से एक कर ले. एक है कूल और द नेगेटिव फेज, एक है वार्म है पॉजिटिव फेज. अगर वार्म और पॉजिटिव फेज है, वार्म मतलब वेस्ट, वार्म पॉजिटिव, तो वेस्ट पैसिफिक ओशन आपका ठंडा रहता है. अगर कूल और नेगेटिव फेज है तो आपका ईस्ट पैसिफिक ओशन ठंडा रहता है. ठीक है. और यहाँ पे क्या होता है? सेंट्रल और ईस्टर्न ट्रॉपिकल वार्मिंग ऑफ द ओशन सर्फेस और द अबव सी सर्फेस टेम्परेचर इन द सेंट्रल एंड ईस्टर्न ट्रॉपिकल पैसिफिक ओशन में टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा होता है. ईस्टर्न वाले का टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा रहता है. तो ये नेगेटिव फेज. ओके, पूरा नेगेटिव फेज. It leads to drought and deficiency of rainfall in Asia due to recent global monthly ocean temperature has reached at an all-time high relative to the temperature since record started to become. La Nina, a cooling of the ocean surface or the below average sea surface temperature in the central and the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. Eastern वाला जब ठंडा हो जाता है तो ला नीना, और ईस्टर्न वाला जब ठंडा हो जाता है, एक सेकेंड, ईस्टर्न वाला जब ठंडा है तो ला नीना है, और जब ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म है तो एल नीनो है. ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म है. ओके, ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म है तो समझ लो. पहले ईस्टर्न का ही देखते हैं. जब ईस्टर्न आपका ठंडा है तो आपका कूल और नेगेटिव फेज है. ठीक है. इसमें कूल और नेगेटिव फेज है. जब ईस्टर्न वाला आपका ठंडा है तो कूल और नेगेटिव फेज है, और जब ईस्टर्न वाला ठंडा है तो आपका ला नीना है. कूल और नेगेटिव फेज, ईस्टर्न वाला ठंडा है तो आपका ला नीना है. न्यूट्रल आइदर एल नीनो और ला नीना ऑफन ट्रॉपिकल पैसिफिक एसएसटी ई सी सरफेस टेम्परेचर जनरली क्लोज टू एन एवरेज. ओके, रिलेशन बिटवीन पीडीओ एल नीनो सदर्न ऑसिलेशन. अब हम लोग बात करें द क्लाइमेट इम्पैक्ट एक्सपीरियंस ड्यूरिंग अ पैसिफिक डिकेडल ऑसिलेशन इवेंट go hand in hand with the impact of ENSO. If both the phenomena are in the same phase, the associated impacts can be amplified. Impact on the Indian monsoon. ENSO, that is El Nino phase with a positive PDO. अब देखो, अगर हम पॉजिटिव PDO की बात करते हैं तो आपका ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म रहता है, और एल नीनो की बात करें तो आपका ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म रहता है. पॉजिटिव में भी ईस्टर्न वाला, देखो पॉजिटिव फेज की बात करें तो ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म, और एल नीनो की भी बात करें तो ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म. ओके, इट इज़ थ्रू दैट नेगेटिव फेजेस. ओके, वेर एनसो इज लिंक्ड विद द नेगेटिव पीडीओ, सॉरी, वेर एनसो विद अ पॉजिटिव पीडीओ, एनसो विद अ पॉजिटिव पीडीओ तो मतलब ईस्ट वाला बहुत गर्म. इज जनरली नॉट गुड फॉर द इंडियन मानसून. ओके, मानसून के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, गर्म ज़्यादा है तो यहीं पे राइज. ओके, व्हेन एनसो और ला नीना फेज इज लिंक विद द एनसो है, मतलब ईस्टर्न वाला गर्म है और नेगेटिव पीडीओ है. नेगेटिव पीडीओ मतलब ईस्टर्न वाला तो गर्म है, इस लिंक विद द नेगेटिव पीडीओ मतलब वेस्ट वाला आपका ठंडा है, तो ये मानसून को इंटेंसीफाई कर देता है. ओके, relation between PD and global warming. It is thought that the negative phases could be linked in terms of a slower warming. This happens that both the cold or the negative phase of the PDO due to the increased mixing of the colder deep ocean water with the warmer surface water. This temporarily reduces the rate of the global warming. Colder and the deep ocean water with warmer or surface water reduces the rate of the global warming caused by the increased greenhouse gas emission. However, the positive phase of the PDO have the positive effect, that is increases the opposite effect. पॉजिटिव फेज़ की बात करते हैं. फिर से पॉजिटिव में ईस्ट वाला गर्म रहता है, वेस्ट वाला ठंडा रहता है। पॉजिटिव फेज की बात करें तो वहाँ पे ग्लोबल वार्मिंग बढ़ जाती है। पॉजिटिव फेज पीरियड में ग्लोबल वार्मिंग बढ़ जाती है, नेगेटिव फेज में वार्मिंग कम हो जाती है। पीरियड बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाना है। इट इम्पैक्ट द रीजन एंड फ्रॉम रेंजिंग फ्रॉम यूएसए टू इंडिया ड्यू टू द क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड द रिलेटेड events such as, and so its cycle has changed in the recent times. Still research is going on to understand its different dimension. Marine heat waves की बात करते हैं। long term persistent warming and the discrete periods of long time persistent warming and discrete period of extreme regional ocean warming is called marine heat waves. Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal experienced it recently. It occurs when the surface temperature of a particular region of the sea rises to 3 to 4 degrees Celsius above the average temperature for at least 5 days. It occurs when the surface temperature of a particular region of the sea rises to 3 or 4 degrees Celsius above the average temperature. It occurs when the surface temperature of a particular region of the sea rises to 3 or 4 degrees Celsius above the average temperature for at least 5 days. Okay. Marine heat wave, particular region of the sea rises 3 to 4 degrees above the average temperature for at least 5 days. El Nino has contributed in its occurrence character. Marine heat waves can last for weeks or even years. They can affect small areas of the coastline or span multiple oceans. Marine heat waves have increased by 50% over the past decade and now last longer and are more severe. Marine ecosystem, due to the several marine species alter their death of the several marine species, they alter their migration pattern, lead to the coral bleaching, impact weather pattern. Impact death of several marine species, migration, coral bleaching, impact the weather system, can make the storms stronger and severely affect the coastal communities. It can make storm very stronger. Humans can make they can make a storm stronger and severely affect the coastal communities. This make hurricane, tropical cyclone stronger, more intense and frequent. Precipitation, due to the presence in the Bay of Bengal, northwest India receives sufficient rainfall. Due to the presence in the Bay of Bengal, नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया रिसीव सफिशिएंट रेनफॉल. न्यूज़ एंड शॉर्ट की बात करते हैं. ब्रेक थ्रू एजेंडा रिपोर्ट 2020 रिलीज बाय द इंटरनेशनल एनर्जी एजेंसी, इंटरनेशनल रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी एजेंसी, यूएन क्लाइमेट चेंज हाई लेवल चैंपियन. इट इज़ एन एनुअल प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट रिक्वेस्टेड एट द यूएन क्लाइमेट चेंज कॉन्फ्रेंस COP 26 2021 एज पार्ट ऑफ द लॉन्च ऑफ द ब्रेक थ्रू एजेंडा. क्लाइमेट चेंज कॉन्फ्रेंस, यूएन के क्लाइमेट कॉन्फ्रेंस COP 26 2021 ब्रेक थ्रू एजेंडा. ब्रेक थ्रू एजेंडा इज एन एक्शन, पूरा एक एक्शन प्लान है दैट एम टू अलाइन द एक्शन and coordinate investment across the 5 key sectors, that is power, road, transport, steel, hydrogen, agriculture. Power, road, transport, steel, hydrogen, agriculture. Power, road, transport, steel, hydrogen and agriculture. Transition to clean energy sustainable solution is accelerating. Countries' nationally determined contribution are not aligned with the global climate goals. Power sector accounts for 23% of the total emission, which has risen by around 10% since 2010. Power sector prioritize इस सेक्टर वाइज रिकमेंडेशन. प्रायोरिटाइज रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट इन द कैसे स्टोर करना है एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड ऑपरेशन ऑफ एनर्जी रिसोर्स. हाइड्रोजन डिफाइंड रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क फॉर द स्टोरेज टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर एंड इंक्रीज कंसेशनल फाइनेंस अवेलेबल फॉर वेल टारगेटेड यूजर्स. एग्री टू अ टाइमलाइन फॉर जीरो एमिशन एंड एस्टैब्लिश स्टैंडर्ड फॉर बैटरी कार्बन फुटप्रिंट. Steel. Establish a dialogue on the steel decarbonization policies and make an emission accurately accounting methodology. Agriculture. Additional finances needed for agroecology, reduction of food loss and waste, reducing methane emission and crop and livestock breeding. Additional finances needed for agroecology, reduction of food loss. Additional finances needed for agroecology, reduction of food loss, waste, reducing methane emission, crop and livestock breeding, livestock breeding. UNDP launches National Carbon Registry. United Nations Development Program launches the National Carbon Registry. National Carbon Registry एक open source software है that allows countries to effectively manage the national data and process for trading carbon credit and the process for trading the carbon credit. United Nations Development Program launched National Carbon Registry. National Carbon Registry एक open source software है that allows the countries to effectively manage national data and processes for trading carbon credit. It has been accredited as a digital public good and can be integrated with the national measurement, reporting, measurement, reporting, verification system to meet the international reporting requirement. National Carbon Registry will promote development of carbon market by facilitating trading of carbon credit. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement allow countries to voluntarily cooperate with each other to achieve the emission reduction target set out in their nationally determined contribution. Carbon markets are the trading system in which the carbon credits are sold and abroad. Companies or the individual can use the carbon market to compensate for their greenhouse gas emission by purchasing the carbon credit from entities that remove or reduce the greenhouse gas emission. One tradable carbon credit requires 1 ton of CO2 or the equivalent one tradable carbon credit 1 ton or the equivalent amount of different greenhouse gas reduced, sequestered or avoided. Carbon trading was introduced by Kyoto Protocol in 1997 in India. Ministry of Power notified the carbon credit trading scheme. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर ने कार्बन क्रेडिट ट्रेडिंग स्कीम 2023 में लॉन्च की थी फॉर इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइजेशन एंड फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द इंडियन कार्बन मार्केट institutionalizing and functioning. Ministry of Power notified carbon credit at a trading system. Okay. Technical report on the global stocktake. The first global stocktake technical synthesis report released by the UNFCCC. The global stocktake aims to serve as a report card on the progress of countries under the technical record of the global stocktake. The first global stocktake technical synthesis report released by the UNFCCC. The global stocktake GST. It aimed to serve as a report card on the progress of countries under the 2015 Paris Agreement in achieving their climate action goal. Global stocktake GST aimed to serve as a global stocktake. Okay, what is global? It's aimed to serve as a report card on the progress of the countries under the 2015 Paris Climate and achieving the climate action goal. The global stocktake is intended to evaluate the progress of the climate action at the global level, but not the national level. Identify the overall gap to achieve the Paris Agreement as well as opportunities to bridge them. Gap क्या है और कैसे आप bridge कर सकते हो? That the world is not on track to meet the long-term goal of limiting the global temperature to 2 degrees Celsius. Renewable energy has to be scaled up and all unabated fossil fuel. For example, the coal plant विदाउट अनअबेटेड फॉसिल फ्यूल, जैसे कि कोल प्लांट जहाँ पे कार्बन कैप्चर और स्टोरेज मैकेनिज्म नहीं है, दे वर टू बी रैपिडली एलिमिनेटेड टू रीच द नेट जीरो CO2 में. रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी हैज़ टू बी स्केल्ड अप एंड ऑल द अनअबेटेड फॉसिल फ्यूल वर टू बी रैपिडली एलिमिनेटेड टू रीच नेट जीरो CO2 emission. More ambitious mitigation targeted nationally determined contribution are needed to reduce the emission more rapidly. Transparent reporting on adaptation can facilitate and enhance understanding. अगर हम ट्रांसपेरेंट अडेप्टेशन कैसे अडेप्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर हम ट्रांसपेरेंटली रिपोर्ट करेंगे तो इट विल फैसिलिटेट एंड एनहांस द अंडरस्टैंडिंग, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन एंड इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन. सपोर्ट फॉर द अडेप्टेशन एंड फंडिंग अरेंजमेंट फॉर अवर्टिंग, मिनिमाइजिंग एंड एड्रेसिंग लॉस एंड सपोर्ट फॉर अडेप्टेशन एंड फंडिंग अरेंजमेंट फॉर हमें क्या करना चाहिए, जो भी लॉस एंड डैमेज उसे अवॉइड करना चाहिए. नहीं हो गया तो मिनिमाइज एंड एड्रेसिंग द लॉस एंड डैमेज फ्रॉम द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द क्लाइमेट चेंज नीड टू बी रैपिडली स्केल्ड अप from expanded and innovative sources. A focus on inclusion and equity can increase an ambition and in climate action. A focus on inclusion and equity can increase ambition in climate action and support. Strategic capacity building support to developing countries need to be scaled up to address the locally determined need. Swachh Vayu strategy. Strategic capacity building support from a focus on inclusion and equity. Okay. तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी हैज़ टू बी स्केल्ड अप. की द वर्ल्ड इज नॉट टू मेक द ग्लोबल लॉन्ग टर्म गोल. रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी हैज़ टू बी स्केल्ड अप, अनअबेटेड फॉसिल फ्यूल, मोर एम्बिशियस मिटिगेशन टारगेट एंड एनडीसी, ट्रांसपेरेंट रिपोर्टिंग ऑन अडेप्टेशन, जैसे अंडरस्टैंडिंग, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन, सपोर्ट फॉर अडेप्टेशन एंड फंडिंग एंड फॉरवर्डिंग, मिनिमाइजिंग लॉस एंड डैमेज एंड एक्सपैंडेड एंड इनोवेटिव सॉल्यूशन, फोकस ऑन इंक्लूजन एंड इक्विटी. Strategic capacity building. Swachh Vayu सर्वेक्षण चटनी. Swachh Vayu सर्वेक्षण 2023 क्लीन एयर सर्वे अवार्ड was announced. Swachh Vayu सर्वेक्षण is an initiative of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and National Clean Air Program. National Clean Air Program has been launched by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change as a comprehensive initiative in partnership with various ministry and state to improve the air quality of the city level, regional level and the national level. Objective of the Swachh Vayu सर्वेक्षण to create awareness among all sections and to create awareness among the all sections of the society. Okay, inform citizen about the create awareness, inform citizen about the health impact related to exposure, comparing air quality condition at different locations to achieve the goal of the National Clean Air Program, that is clean air for all. All 131 cities covered under the National Clean Air Program are required to do the self-assessment as per the framework provided on the PRAN online portal. PRAN is a dashboard to capture the progress of the National Clean Air Program. 131 cities are categorized into 3 groups based on the population. better performing cities. The top 3 cities in each category are rewarded with a cash prize, trophy and certificate. In Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan 2023, Indore ranked first in the first category. Million plus population. Amravati ranked first in the second category. Amravati was first category मतलब million plus और million plus. एक less than 3 lakh population वो है परवाणु में क्या होता है, लेस देन 3 लाख है, 3 से 10 लाख है अमरावती, और 10 लाख से ज़्यादा मतलब 1 मिलियन से ज़्यादा है इंदौर. परवाणु, अमरावती और इंदौर. क्राइटेरिया फॉर स्वच्छ वायु सर्वेक्षण क्या बायोमास एंड म्यूनिसिपल सॉलिड वेस्ट बर्निंग हो रहा है कि नहीं. बायोमास म्यूनिसिपल एंड म्यूनिसिपल सॉलिड वेस्ट बर्निंग. रोड डस्ट 20% है. डस्ट फ्रॉम द कंस्ट्रक्शन डेमोलिशन वेस्ट, व्हीकुलर एमिशन, other emission, IEC activities, public awareness, improvement in PM10 concentration 2.5, emission from industries. Okay, building materials and the climate. Building material and the climate constructing a new feature report was released by the UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. It highlights the urgent need to develop new model for the cooperation. New model बनाने चाहिए जिस पे हम cooperate कर पाएँ. New model जिसके basis पे हम cooperate कर पाएँ for decarbonization of the building material. Report for developing collaboration with the Yale Center for Ecosystem and Architecture in the framework for the Global Alliance for Building and Construction. Decarbonization of building refers to the removal or reduction of the carbon dioxide emission into the atmosphere. It needs to decarbonize building and the construction sector. It is responsible for at least 37% of the global emission, largest emitter of the greenhouse gas. To limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius Paris Agreement and achieve the net zero by 2050 by reducing the embodied carbon in building material. To limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius Paris Agreement, achieve net zero by 2050 by reducing embodied carbon in building material. Embodied carbon account for 11%. Reducing building material में embodied carbon account for 11% and of the annual global GHG emission arising from the manufacture कर लिया, फिर से ट्रांसपोर्ट करें, then installation for maintenance and disposal of the building material, that is embodied carbon 11%. Challenges in decarbonizing of the building construction sector, regulation and the market demand. No consensus exists on the consensus नहीं है कि building के क्या specification होने चाहिए, what should be the standards of the building and what should be the code. इस पर कोई consensus नहीं है, proper data नहीं है, lack of data on the durability and the resilience of the material and its impact on the embodied carbon, lack of capacity in the data collection and reporting of the material changes, maintenance and repair that have occurred in the building over time. Decarbonizing building and construction through the avoid, shift, improve approach. Avoid waste, build with less. Shift to bio-based building material. Improve conventional building material and processes. Avoid waste, build with less. Life cycle analysis to guide design decision. Life cycle analysis to guide design decision. Resource efficient construction. Life cycle analysis. Resource efficient construction. Local value chains. Circular approaches. ठीक है. Local value chain to lower transport emission. Local value chain, save material, resource efficient, and circular basis of recyclability and reuse. Supply chain for locally available material. Standards and certification for bio-based material. Mainstreaming of alternative material. Process innovation to reduce CO2. Substitution waste secondary and the waste material. Energy efficiency of production. जो भी production उसकी energy efficient to decarbonization. तो process innovation, substitution, energy efficiency of production, decarbonization. Centrally empowered committee. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change formed the centrally empowered committee on the environmental issues. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change exercises power under the Environment Protection Act 1986, constituted a permanent statutory CEC, Central Empowered Committee. The permanent CEC will replace an ad hoc CEC formed in 2002 for monitoring the implementation of the Supreme Court's order in Tamil Nadu, Godavaram vs Union of India, 1996. Ad hoc CEC has been reporting to SC on steps taken for the removal of encroachment, compensatory afforestation and other conservation issues. Ad hoc CEC has been reporting to SC on steps taken for the removal of encroachment, compensatory afforestation and other conservation issue. Key highlights about the CEC. Composition: chairman and the 3 expert members selected for 3 years, extendable once up to the age of 60. Chairman and the 3 expert members selected for 3 years. Chief Coordinating Officer is a serving officer not below the rank of the DIG or Forest Director in Government of India. All of them should have experience in environment, forest and wildlife. chairman and 3 expert members selected for 3 years. Central Empowered Committee, Ministry of and Cabinet Change form Centrally Empowered Committee on Environmental Issues. ठीक है, exactly empowered under the Environment Protection Act 1997 considered a permanent statutory Centrally Empowered Committee. The permanent CAC would replace an ad hoc CAC formed in 2002 for monitoring the implementation of Supreme Court's order in the Tamil Nadu Godavari versus Union of India case in 1996. An ad hoc CEC Centrally Empowered Committee has been reporting to SC Supreme Court on steps taken for the removal of encroachment कंपन्स क्या स्टेप लिए गए हैं कि एंक्रोचमेंट को अगेन कंपनसेटी फॉरेस्ट्री एंड अदर कंजर्वेशन इशूज़ की हाईलाइट अबाउट द सीईसी. इसमें एक चेयरमैन होगा, 3 एक्सपर्ट मेंबर्स होंगे सेलेक्टेड फॉर 3 ईयर. चेयरमैन होंगे 3 एक्सपर्ट मेंबर जो 3 साल के लिए होंगे अवेलेबल एक्सटेंडेड फॉर अप टू वंस अप टू द एज ऑफ 60. का चीफ कोऑर्डिनेटिंग ऑफिसर, अ सर्विंग ऑफिसर नॉट बिलो द रैंक ऑफ द डीआईजी, द फॉरेस्ट एंड डायरेक्टर एंड इन द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. ऑल ऑफ देम वुड हैव एक्सपीरियंस इन द एनवायरनमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड द वाइल्ड लाइफ function. Monitor the implementation of Supreme Court orders and place reports of non-compliance before the center. Reports on non-compliance before the center. Deal with the application made by any aggrieved person, jurisdiction, whole country, deferment of state. If the state differs from the CEC recommendation, it shall be referred to the center, whose decision shall be final and the binding. Lack of representation from civil society. Civil society का कोई भी representation नहीं है. Ad hoc panel comprised of 2 members of the NGOs. Global trends on the land degradation and the draft. United Nations Convention to combat desertification. ये sole legally binding international agreement है. Legally binding है for sustainable land management between 2015 से 2019. At least 100 million hectares of the land were degraded every year, amounting to 402 million hectare in 4 years. It has impacted the lives of the 100 million hectare हर साल, जिससे कि पूरे 402 million hectare हो गए. इससे कितने लोगों की लाइफ 1.3 billion people life is affected, and this rate restoring 1.5 billion hectares of land by 23 essential to achieve the land degradation neutrality word. लैंड डिग्रेडेशन न्यूट्रल वर्ड चाहिए हमें. कैसा वर्ड चाहिए? लैंड डिग्रेडेशन न्यूट्रल वर्ड. लैंड डिग्रेडेशन न्यूट्रल वर्ड चाहिए. तो एट दिस डेट वी हैव टू रिस्टोर 1.5 बिलियन हेक्टर्स ऑफ लैंड बाय 2030. We have to restore कितना 1.5 billion hectares of land by 2030. India's initiative to check land degradation. India joined the voluntary bond challenge pledge to bring into restoration 26 million hectares of the degraded and the deforested land by the year 2030. Degraded and deforested land by the year to bring into restoration कितना million? 26 million hectare of degraded and deforested land by the year 2030. India joined the voluntary bond challenge. Desert 26 million hectare. Bond challenge 26 million hectare by 2030. Desertification and land degradation atlas of India for state-wise area of degraded land. Integrated watershed management plan. National mission for green India. Sustainable land and ecosystem management program. National afforestation program. Reason: extreme weather condition, drought, excessive use of fertilizer, pesticides, salination, climate change. Land degradation neutrality is a state. Land degradation neutrality is a state where the amount and the quality of the land resource necessary to support the ecosystem to enhance the food security remain stable. ठीक है, amount as well as the quality. कितना amount as well as the quality of the land resource necessary इकोसिस्टम को सपोर्ट करने के लिए एज वेल एज एनहांस फूड सिक्योरिटी और स्टेबल है और इंक्रीज विद इन द स्पेसिफाइड टेम्पोरल और द स्पेशल स्केल. अर्लियर UNCCD हैज़ रिलीज 2018 से 2030 स्ट्रेटेजिक फ्रेमवर्क दैट फोकसेस ऑन लैंड डिग्रेडेशन को मिटिगेट करेंगे. मिटिगेट हो गया, अगर नहीं हुआ तो उस पर अडेप्ट करेंगे एंड फाइनली उससे मैनेज करेंगे. वी हैव टू मोबिलाइज फाइनेंशियल एज वेल एज नॉन फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज, इम्प्रूव द कंडीशन ऑफ द लैंड डिग्रेडेशन थ्रू पार्टिसिपेशन. Ecocide refers to the unlawful or the wanton act committed with knowledge that there is substantial likelihood of widespread or long-term damage to the environment being caused to by those acts. So, ecocide. So Arthur Galston in 1970 was the first to link the environmental degradation and destruction. अगर environment destruction हो रहा है तो it is linked with genocide. When referring to the use of the Agent Orange था. Agent Orange एक herbicide था, वो US ने यूज़ किया था during Vietnam War. Ecocide is currently recognized as a crime in several countries, though used in certain cases as references by the court. India is just to make it an offense. इंडिया ने ecocide को एक offense नहीं बनाया. अनलॉफुल और वांटन एक्ट विच इज कमिटेड विद नॉलेज, पता है कि भाई देयर इज सब्सटेंशियल लाइक्लीहुड ऑफ वाइडस्प्रेड और लॉन्ग टर्म डैमेज टू द एनवायरनमेंट. आर्थर गार्स्टन 1970 फर्स्ट टू लिंक द एनवायरमेंटल डिस्ट्रक्शन विद जीनोसाइड. पहले तो एक एजेंट ऑरेंज दैट वाज अ हर्बिसाइड यूज्ड इन यूएस ड्यूरिंग वियतनाम वॉर. एक्सट्रीम वाटर स्ट्रेसेस. न्यू डेटा फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड रिसोर्स इंस्टीट्यूट, अ ग्लोबल रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, शोज दैट 1/4 ऑफ द वर्ल्ड पॉपुलेशन फेसेस एक्सट्रीम हाई वाटर स्ट्रेस. 25 countries including India faced extremely high water stress each year. A country facing extreme water stress means it is using at least 80% of its available supply. High water stress means it is withdrawing 40% of its supply. A country facing extreme water stress means it is using at least 80% of its available supply. High water stress means withdrawing 40% of its supply. Other key finding: 50% of the world population live under the highly water stress condition for at least 1 month of the year. 31% of the global GDP will be exposed to high water stress by 2050. India, Mexico, okay, India हो गया, Mexico, Egypt, Turkey, they will account for over half of the exposed GDP in 2050. 60% of the world's irrigated agriculture faces extreme high water stress. Causes of the global water stress: increased water use, lack of investment in water infrastructure. Increased water use, lack of investment in water infrastructure, unsustainable water use policies, increased variability due to climate change, etc. Increased variability due to climate change, increased water use, lack of investment in water infrastructure. वाटर का यूज़ इंक्रीज हो गया है, लैक ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट इन वाटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं है वाटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में. अनसस्टेनेबल वाटर यूज पॉलिसीज, इंक्रीज वेरिएबिलिटी ड्यू टू क्लाइमेट चेंज. रिकमेंडेशन: इम्प्रूव वाटर गवर्नेंस थ्रू नेचर बेस्ड सोल्यूशन एंड ग्रीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. Water governance through nature-based NBS solution and green infrastructure. Consider program like DEP for nature swaps for a commitment to invest in mangrove restoration or the wetland conservation. Mangrove restoration. Consider programs like DEP for nature swap for commitment to invest in mangrove restoration or wetland conservation. Switching to water efficient crop or using method like sprinkler or drip irrigation versus flooding e-field. Cities should develop urban water resilience action plan. Initiative taken in India: National Water Mission, Water Conservation Initiative under the scheme such as Atal Bhujal Yojana, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, that is Catch the Rain, Sahi Fasal campaign. National Water Mission, Water Conservation Initiative such as Atal Bhujal Yojana, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Catch the Rain, सही फसल कैंपेन. नेशनल वाटर मिशन, वाटर कंजर्वेशन इनिशिएटिव अंडर द स्कीम अटल भूजल योजना, जल शक्ति अभियान, कैच द रेन. नेशनल वाटर मिशन, वाटर कंजर्वेशन इनिशिएटिव अटल भूजल योजना, जल शक्ति अभियान, कैच द रेन, सही फसल कैंपेन. Atlantification is making the Arctic Ocean saltier and the warmer. Atlantification is a process in which the warm water from Atlantic is being advocated into the Arctic Ocean in increasing amount, thereby making some part of the Barents Sea to more closely resemble the Atlantic. Top of the Arctic Ocean is typically covered by the sea ice. Below this is a layer of the cool fresh water followed by a deeper layer of warmer and saltier water which delivered to Arctic from the Atlantic. Layers are held in place as a result of the differences in water salinity and thus protect the sea ice from being melted by incoming the warm water from the Atlantic. However, rapid decline in the Arctic ice core in recent decade is causing the ocean to mix together and also driving Atlantification. Once sparked Atlantification caused further melting of sea ice, which could in turn lead to more Atlantification. Researchers believe Atlantification is driven by the process called Arctic dipole, which is associated with anticyclonic wind over North America and cyclonic winds over Eurasia. North America में कैसी है? एंटी साइक्लोन विंड. यूरेशिया में कैसा है? साइक्लोनिक विंड, which alternates in an approximately 15-year cycle. Positive phase of the Arctic dipole contributed to slowing Arctic sea ice loss by restricting the Atlantic water into the Arctic. Positive phase of the Arctic dipole. Arctic dipole का phase कैसा है? Positive phase. Okay. The positive phase of the Arctic dipole contribute to slowing Arctic sea ice loss by restricting Atlantic water. Arctic dipole contribute to slowing Arctic sea ice loss by restricting Atlantic water into the Arctic via the Frame Strait, and negative phase accelerate the sea ice decline. Positive phase decrease sea ice decline. Okay. ये है फ्राम स्ट्रेट, स्वेलबोर्ड, ये है बेरेंट सी, ग्रीनलैंड सी, ये ग्रीनलैंड है, वो आर्कटिक ओशन है. दिस इज स्वेलबोर्ड. इन दो के बीच में फ्राम स्ट्रेट है, ग्रीनलैंड, नॉर्वेन. आर्टिफिशियल रीफ. ओके, हम लोग बात कर रहे थे आर्टिफिशियल रीफ की. डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिशरीज है प्रमोटिंग आर्टिफिशियल रीफ अंडर द प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य संपदा योजना फॉर रिजुविनेटिंग द कोस्टल फिशरीज. आर्टिफिशियल रीफ इज अ टेक्नोलॉजी इंटरवेंशन यूज टू रिहेबिलिटेट और इम्प्रूव द नेचुरल हैबिटेट, इंक्रीज प्रोडक्टिविटी, मैनेज एक्वेटिक रिसोर्सेज इंक्लूडिंग. ओके, Arctic reef artificial reef, प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य संपदा योजना, rejuvenating coastal fisheries, जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी इंटरवेंशन विच यूज टू रिहेबिलिटेट और इम्प्रूव. क्या इम्प्रूव करता है? नेचुरल हैबिटेट. रिहेबिलिटेट और इम्प्रूव नेचुरल हैबिटेट, इंक्रीज प्रोडक्टिविटी, manage aquatic resource including habitat enhancement. Advantages: reduce wave damage on the coast, helps regeneration of the marine ecosystem and act as a reduce wave damage on the coast, helps regeneration of marine ecosystem, act as a carbon sink. It enhance the recreational fisheries ecotourism, creating suitable areas for diving and reducing conflict. Restrict bottom trawling in the near shore areas. Electrified flex fuel vehicle, world's first prototype of the B6 Bharat Stage 6 stage, world first prototype of the BS6 stage 2 electrified flex fuel vehicle. Flex fuel launch. The vehicle has both the flex fuel engine as well as an electric powertrain. It offers higher use of ethanol combined with better fuel efficiencies. Flex fuel vehicle has an internal combustion engine that can run on more than one type of fuel, or even a mixture of fuel such as petrol and ethanol. One type of fuel or a mixture of petrol and ethanol. For example, E85, which is 85% ethanol fuel and 15% gasoline or other hydrocarbon by volume. 85% ethanol and 15% gasoline. Benefit: lower harmful pollutant emission like carbon monoxide, sulfur, reduce the import dependence on the crude oil. Lower mileage compared to the traditional gasoline. Lower mileage as compared to traditional gasoline. Use of water intensive crops as sugarcane for production of ethanol. Lower mileage or use of water intensive crops as sugarcane. Bharat Stage 6 BS6 emission standards are laid down to regulate the output of the air pollutant and from the internal combustion engine and spark ignition engine equipment. Government had decided to leapfrog directly from BS4 to BS6 emission norm from April 1, 2020. The fuel quality has improved significantly from BS4 to BS6 norm by reducing the permissible sulfur content by 80% from 50 ppm to maximum 10 ppm. 80%. Ethanol blended petrol EBP program, a target of 10% ethanol blending for ethanol supply year 2021-2022 has already been achieved. 10% ethanol blending हो गई है. The National Policy on Biofuel 2018 target 20% blending of ethanol and petrol by 2000 ethanol supply year 2025-26. Marine light population. According to a study by the General Aquatic Conservation, marine light population threaten the coastal marine system. Light pollution, also known as artificial light at night. Light pollution is artificial light at night. कहता है is an excessive, misdirected or obtrusive if artificial, usually outdoor light in the environment. Sources of the light for marine ecosystem: natural source sunlight, moonlight, starlight, bioluminescent light, result of endogenous biochemical reaction. Artificial light, city light by offshore oil and gas platform, wind farm, island development, offshore oil and gas platform. Significances of light for marine ecosystem. Ocean is generally divided into three zones based on the amount of sunlight it receives. एक है euphotic less than 200 meter, dysphotic 200, euphotic dysphotic 200 से 1000, aphotic, euphotic dysphotic aphotic. Marine organisms, they have visual system guided by light and the solar and the lunar cycle to regulate their life event like egg hatching, etc. They have visual system guided by light. Impact of the artificial light at night. Behavior change, जैसे mating में change, reproduction में change, symbiosis और interspecies interaction impacted physiology, hormone metabolism, growth, photosynthesis system of species get disturbed. Suggestion: use red light in coastal areas, build barrier against the artificial light, establishment of the marine conservation areas, international dark sky areas, reduce light population during the critical period for marine communities, advancement of better alternatives to cruises and lighthouses, Delhi framework on the farmers' right. Delhi framework. Global Symposium on Farmers' Right adopt the Delhi Framework on Farmers' Right. Global Symposium on Farmers' Right was organized by the Secretary of International Treaty on the Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture, Food and Agriculture Organization, Plant Genetic GSFR. Global Symposium, Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture, Plant genetic resource for food and culture are the raw material that form the basis of all crop of varieties and include seed and all other plant genetic material की horizontally framework, creating functional synergy across the different UN instrument. International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture and Convention on Biological Diversity, United Nations Declaration on Right of the Indigenous People, etc. for the realization of farmers' rights, establish support farmer managed seed system for traditional varieties and create self-sustaining production and marketing value chain. We have to market the value chain, create self-sustaining production. Establish support farmer managed seed system for traditional variety. Build farmer-centric partnership opportunities including South-South, triangular and regional cooperation. South-South cooperation, regional cooperation, triangular cooperation. ठीक है. एक है IT, International Treaty on the Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture, also known as the Seed Treaty, is a major international agreement to conserve, use and manage the plant genetic resource for food and agriculture. Conserve करना है, use करना है and manage करना है. It is a legally binding agreement that was adopted in 2001 and entered into force in 2004. इंडिया इसका पार्टी है. ठीक है. Intergovernmental Treaty, International Treaty. International Treaty on the Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture make it possible to share the plant genetic resource across the border. Plant genetic resource across border through a unique multilateral system of access and benefit sharing. India has enacted the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001. Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001 to safeguard the interests of the farmer and other people who are engaged in the conservation and improvement of the plant genetic resources. Safeguard the interest of the farmer and other people who are engaged in the conservation as well as the improvement of the plant genetic resources. Norman Borlaug Field Award for Field Research and Application. Dr. Swati Nayak, an Indian scientist at the International Rice Research Institute, was named the recipient of the prestigious award. Swati Nayak is recognized for her innovative approach to engaging smallholder farmers in a demand-driven rice seed system and adoption of the climate resilient and nutritious climate ऐसा rice variety जो कि climate resilient है और nutritious है. 10,000 award recognizes exceptional science-based achievement in international agriculture and food production by an individual under the age of 40 endorsed by the Rockefeller Foundation. Walking leaves. International research team had described 7 previously unknown species of leaf insect, Felidae family, also known as walking leaf. About walking leaves, they are usually green insect and are known for their leaf-like appearance. Islands in the Indian Ocean across part of the mainland Southeast Asia, Papua New Guinea and Australia in the Western Pacific. Male tends to be smaller than female. Killingsia jhangi. Researchers have investigated a nearly 520 million year old fossil of Killingsia jhangi found in China. New finding revealed that Killingsia sported 3 eyes on its head, along with a pair of claws that was probably used to catch prey. Killingsia jhangi. This fossil, Killingsia jhangi. Okay, this fossil is a part of the Cambrian Changjiang biota group of extremely preserved animal. Killingsia is related to arthropod. Methone. Food Safety and Standards Authority of India (FSSAI) had recognized methane Bos frontier as a food animal. Methone as a food animal. Food animals are those that are raised and used for food production or consumption by human. Methone. Species. Ruminant species of a Bovidae family. Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, also part of Bangladesh, Myanmar, Bhutan. State animal of both Arunachal Pradesh and the Nagaland is similar to that of Gaur, Indian bison, but are similar in size. It is similar to that of Gaur. Gaur is Indian bison. Categorizing can help check his declining population. Has recognized as methane as a food animal. Earlier in 2022 Himalayan yak has accepted as a food animal by ICSI. 2022 में Himalayan yak और गौर, it is similar to गौर Indian bison. और अभी कौन सा है? Methone. Okay. Terrigo Trigilla intermedica. Scientists of the Zoological Survey of India had discovered a new species of marine fish from West Bengal. West Bengal से एक नई species निकाली है किसकी? Marine fish की. Scientists of the Zoological Survey of India have discovered a new species of marine fish from West Bengal. Scientists from the Zoological Survey of India have discovered a new species of marine fish from the West Bengal. New species commonly known as the gurnard or the sea robin belong to the family Triglydae, and there are total 178 species of the family worldwide. Scientists of the Zoological Survey of India, they have discovered new species of marine fish. West Bengal से एक marine fish मिली है, new species commonly known as gurnard. Piteri Pterygotrygla intermedica. Pterygotrygla intermedica. New species commonly known as the Gurnard or the sea robin belong to the family Tryglidae. And they are total 170 species of the family worldwide. They have a very long and slender opercular spine, and so its distinct characteristics include a distinct pectoral fin with black membrane on the inner surface, a white posterior margin, and three small white spots found basally on the fin. Red fire ant, one of the world's most invasive species, has been found in Europe for the first time. Invasive species, red fire ant. South America, however, spread in US, Mexico, Caribbean Sea, China, and Australia. Communication through chemical secretions and stereo sound produced by rubbing or drumming one body part against the invasive species drive plant and animal extinction, threaten food security, exhibit environmental catastrophe. Sago serve. It is a sago. Sago serve is a cooperative society that received the GI tag for its sago produced in Salem. Sago serve, a cooperative society, received its GI tag for its sago produced in Salem, Tamil Nadu. Sago is derived from the raw tapioca and is in the form of a small hard globule or pearl and is pearl white in color. Tapioca is a horticultural crop that grows in tropical warm humid climate with rainfall of over 100 cm per annum. Tapioca. Sago serve receive सागो, दिस इज अ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी. इसने जीआई टैग नहीं किया फॉर इस सागो प्रोड्यूस्ड फॉर सागो सर्व गॉट जीआई टैग फॉर इस सागो प्रोड्यूस्ड इन Salem, Tamil Nadu. Sago is derived from raw tapiocas and is in the form of a small hard globule or pearl and is pearl white in color. Tapioca is a horticultural crop that grows in tropical warm humid climate with a rainfall of over 100 cm per annum. Sago comprises of high carbohydrate content and is low in protein, fat, mineral, vitamin, etc. It is easily digest and provides the rapid energy. Agumbe forest. The amount of rainfall received in Agumbe has reduced as compared to the other towns in the region. Agumbe is in the Shimoga district of Karnataka and referred to as the Chirapinja of South. The amount of rainfall received in Agumbe has reduced as compared to the towns in the region. Agumbe in the Shimoga district of Karnataka referred to as Chirapinja of the South India with an average rainfall of 48,000 mm. And it is at an 8,000 mm. It is at an elevation of 650 meter within the central western Ghat and has a distinctive tract of tropical moist evergreen forest. It is also located adjacent to the Someshwara Wildlife Sanctuary and the Kudremukh National Park. Adjacent to Agumbe Forest, Shimoga district of Karnataka, Cherrapunji of South India, 8,000 mm, 650 meter. Located adjacent to Someshwara Wildlife Sanctuary and Kudremukh National Park. Someshwara Wildlife Sanctuary, Kudremukh National Park. Okay, it is the world's only natural habitat of the king cobra and refers to ये word की only natural habitat of the king cobra and referred to as the cobra capital. Agumbe. Siang River. Siang River, the center type put to construct a large barrage on the Siang River protected from the potential hazard posed by the massive Chinese dam built. The center has proposed to construct a large barrage on the Siang River to protect it from the potential hazard posed by the massive Chinese dam being built over on River Sangpo in Tibet. China's proposed massive hydropower project on the Great Bend on the Yalung Sangpo River just before the river enters the India as Siang. The Yalung Sangpo River starts from Mansarovar Lake and flows easterly for more than 1,600 kilometers across the Tibet, entering before bending toward the southeast around Namcha Parva peak to enter India at Geling in Arunachal Pradesh, where the river is known as Siang. The Siang flows down the Himalayas in Arunachal Pradesh, enter the Assam Valley, joins toward the river at Lohit and Dibang, and together they become the Brahmaputra. Lohit Dibang. Impact of the China's mega dam project. China's control overflow. Chinese authorities will have control over the Sangpo stores, enabling them to store it in the reservoir and redirect it to suit their regional water management need. Agriculture. Such a huge dam could hold back massive amount of silt carried by the river, which would affect the farming in the area downstream. Such a huge dam could hold back massive amount of silt carried by the river, which affect the farming in the area downstream. Silty soil is more fertile than the other types of soil and is found for growing crop. Seismological impact. Large-scale infrastructure project elevate the seismic risk and endanger the downstream population significantly. Ecological impact. Deforestation, soil erosion, landslide, compound ecological vulnerabilities. Brahmaputra Dam Project, China. Great Bend, Yalung Sangpo. यहाँ पे जंगमू डैम है. यहाँ पे ये एक जंगमू डैम लगा रखा है, यहाँ पे मिडॉक प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोज चाइनीज डैम को जनरेट अबाउट 62 गीगावाट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. 60 गीगावाट, ओके, 510 मेगावाट का, नियरली द ट्रिपल दैट ऑफ द 3 गॉर्जियस डैम इन द सेंट्रल चाइना, वर्ल्ड्स बिगेस्ट. ओके, ये सियांग रिवर है. इंडिया को रिस्पॉन्ड बाय बिल्डिंग 10 गीगावाट. ये 60 गीगावाट का बना रहा है, तो हम यहाँ पे 10 गीगावाट का तो बना ही सकते हैं. ओके, vulnerabilities. Omega blocking. According to a study, recent floods in the Mediterranean region were caused by the low pressure system formed around an omega block centered over the Netherlands. नेदरलैंड में ओमेगा ब्लॉक है, ठीक है, लो प्रेशर है. और रिसेंट स्टडी, फ्लड्स इन द मेडिटेरियन रीजन वर कॉज बाय द लो प्रेशर सिस्टम. लो प्रेशर कहाँ पर? फॉर्मिंग अराउंड एन ओमेगा ब्लॉक सेंटर्ड ओवर द नेदरलैंड. ये नीदरलैंड में एक ओमेगा ब्लॉक है, वहाँ पे लो प्रेशर सिस्टम है. तो रिसेंटली रीजन वर कॉज बाय द लो प्रेशर सिस्टम फॉर्म्ड अराउंड ओमेगा ब्लॉक सेंटर्ड ओवर द नेदरलैंड. Omega block occurs when two low pressure systems they cut off from the main flow of the jet stream, sandwiching a high pressure system between them. It resembles the Greek letter omega on a weather map. Omega blocking events have also linked extreme weather events in the past, including Pakistan flood in 2011, 2019 heat waves during the May in France and July in Germany. 2019 heat waves during May in France and July in Germany. Omega system बाहर लो प्रेशर है, अंदर हाई प्रेशर है. और इन्होंने हाई प्रेशर सिस्टम बना. रीजन वर कॉज बाय लो प्रेशर सिस्टम फॉर्म अराउंड एन ओमेगा ब्लॉक सेंटर्ड ओवर नीदरलैंड. लार्ज परसिस्टेंट कैन लीड टू ड्राउट जेट स्ट्रीम. Okay, Kilau volcano has erupted again in the U.S. state of Hawaii. Aka Mount Kilau, the world's most active volcanic mass, is located on the southeastern part of the island of Hawaii. Southeastern and of Hawaii state. U.S. volcano is a vent in the crust of the earth from which the eruption of the molten rock, hot rock fragments and the hot gases take place. Earthquake in Morocco. Earthquake is caused by the release of the energy within the earth's lithosphere generating wave. Earthquake is caused by the release of energy within the earthquake in Morocco. Kilau volcano in Hawaii. Earthquake is caused by the release of energy within the Earth's lithospheric genetic wave. Epicenter located in the Atlas Mountain. Earthquake in Morocco. Earthquake is caused by the release of energy within the Earth's lithospheric genetic waves. Epicenter located in the Atlas Mountain. Okay, reason for the strongest earthquake in this region: northward convergence of the African plate with respect to the Eurasian plate along the complex plate boundary. It was attributed to oblique reverse faulting at shallow depth within the Moroccan high Atlas Mountain. Oblique reverse faulting. This type of faulting is common in areas of compression along the convergent plane boundaries. Tectonic plate. Eurasian plate है, ये अफ्रीकन प्लेट है, ये एनाटोलियन प्लेट है, ये एगन सी प्लेट है, एल्पाइन ओरेगोनी, ये अरेबियन प्लेट है, ये पर्शिया तिब्बत बर्मा ओरेगोनी, ये इंडियन प्लेट है, ये शुमाली प्लेट है. ओके, आरोग्य मैत्री क्यूब अंडर द प्रोजेक्ट भीष्म. इंडिया हैज़ बिल्ट द वर्ल्ड्स फर्स्ट डिजास्टर हॉस्पिटल कॉल्ड आरोग्य मैत्री क्यूब which can be airlifted and assembled in 72 cubes. These cubes contain medical equipment and supplies to support 200 survivors for 48 hours. These medical cubes have been indigenously developed under the project Bhism, Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog Hita and Maitri. भारत हेल्थ इनिशिएटिव, ठीक है, सहयोग हित एंड मैत्री. इंडिया इज ऑलरेडी डोनेटेड 2 आरोग्य मैत्री क्यूब टू म्यांमार. इंडिया ने कितने बनाए? वर्ल्ड्स फर्स्ट डिजास्टर हॉस्पिटल आरोग्य मैत्री क्यूब विच कैन बी एयरलिफ्टेड एंड असेंबल इन 72 क्यूब. और इसमें से 2 क्यूब आरोग्य मैत्री क्यूब दिए गए म्यांमार को फॉर गुडविल गेस्चर एंड 1 इज बीइंग रेडिफाइड फॉर अ डोनेशन टू श्रीलंका. ओके, सोशल इशूज है, यूनिवर्सल हेल्थ कवरेज, काफ़ी टॉपिक है. ये नेक्स्ट टॉपिक में करते हैं हम लोग नेक्स्ट पार्ट में. थैंक यू.